Hey, it's a Humble Collector here, and in today's video we have another unboxing. We have a wide variety of death cards and a little bit of Feldpost, a couple photos. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I will start out by saying some of the packages had the address on the front and back, so I opened them off screen, but I haven't completely opened them yet. Like, they're still in an envelope or still wrapped up in cardboard, so you guys are still going to see me open them up for the first time at the very least. Go ahead and get started here with this first one. And this is a couple of weeks worth of stuff, so I'm going to be perfectly honest, I can't remember the entirety of what's in here. Alright, oh, hold on, we got writing on that one. Thank you from the seller. Hopefully I don't have to cut any of that out. If I do, you'll see the cut. Now, just open this up here. Alright, what do we got? Okay, souvenir for Marcus Cardle, soldier in the 3rd Variant Infantry Regiment, 14th Company. Oh yeah, this is a really interesting card. So, also, really cool Jaeger unit, World War I studio photo with his freaking walking stick, cigar, cool stuff. But Marcus here was actually killed in the interwar period during the Munich Revolution. So after World War I, Germany kind of went through this period where there was a whole lot of unrest. There were a whole bunch of different groups that tried to take over before the Weimar Republic was founded. So he was actually killed by a headshot during all that stuff that was going on in Munich. I don't know a ton about this, so I still need to do some research, but I've never seen a card related to that period, so I thought it was pretty cool. And also, just great photo. So I ended up getting a pretty good deal on this one, and looking very much forward to doing more research. Moving on here. And I am suffering from a bit of a cold, so I'm going to try not to sniffle, but if I do, I apologize. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Alright, let's see if we can get this open now. Try to get that stuck on the tape. Okay, so we got the card of Hermann Greisbeck. Oh, Feldpost. So apparently he was in a Feldpost unit, which is kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. Also has his collar tabs visible there, though I can't make them out. I'll have to zoom in later. But he was born November 17th, 1917, and died October 13th, 1944 in Russia. Bearer of the War Merit Cross and the Eastern Front Medal. And I don't believe I've seen this particular backing before either, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, Feldpost unit, that's not one I've seen. I've seen maybe one other. They don't seem to come up very often. Moving on here. Alright, wrapped up in paper. Hopefully this doesn't have a note on it. Let me just check real quick. No, it does not, thankfully. So we have a card here, a couple cards actually, taped in. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got. So, starting, I guess from the top of the pile here. Card for Andreas Kramer, soldier in the Gebrüder Regiment, born September 3rd, 1912 in Lengenmusen, and fell on September 3rd, 1942, in a aerial bombing raid, I believe, in Togodin in the West Caucasus. So that's pretty interesting. Also, we have this really cool outdoor photo here, where he appears to have some snow on him. I've never seen that before, which is really, really cool. Yeah, lots of really good cards this unboxing, actually. We're only partway through it. So we have Karl Pammer here, Seaman in der Handelsmarine in Bremen, which I believe Handelsmarine is like a marine militia, which is kind of interesting. But apparently on July 1st, 1941, during a bombing raid in Hamburg, he was killed at the age of 37. Which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, no photo on that one. Also, smaller format card than we usually see. as well. Moving on here, we have the card of Ludwig Braun, bearer of the Iron Cross Second Class, the Infantry Assault Badge, the Wound Badges, the Eastern Front Medal, and the Caucasus Spange. I think I might actually have this card already. I'll have to double check later, but I remember seeing a card with Caucasus Spange. So the Caucasus Spange is a campaign spange for the, I believe it's the Romanian Crusade Against Communism medal, which certain German units that served alongside Romanians qualified for. I'm 99% certain I actually have this card, which is pretty cool. Gebersjäger Regiment, HCOM 302 backing. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, occasionally you do, because, you know, they printed dozens, if not hundreds of cards per person when they were killed, so sometimes you do just happen to, you know, run into cards you've happened to have seen before, which is kind of neat. So this one will open this up here. Card of Max Wollner, a Gefreiter in a Panzer Regiment, who on June 28th, 1941, was killed on the Eastern Front at the age of 29. Pretty cool. This is a very glossy card with thicker stock than we normally see as well, which is kind of interesting. Then we have this one for Ignis Hohenleitner, an Obergefreiter and Infantry Regiment who was born on January 12, 1908 and fell January 14, 1945 by Mockheim in Poland. And what's kind of neat about this one is the very small offset photo that they put of him there, which is, yeah, kind of unusual. Yeah, lots of good cards in that one. I actually don't remember buying those ones, but definitely not complaining. I wonder if that was a blind lot of some kind. So I bought a few of those recently, but I do not remember that one. Still, really awesome. So the next card here actually has the seller's address on the back of it as well, or the next envelope, so I'm just going to open this real quick off camera, just to not dox anybody. Also, this envelope really does not want to open. There we go. Alrighty, so here we have the card of Albert Voswinkel, Funk Obergefreiter in a flotilla of the Kriegsmarine, bearer of the U-boat badges, or U-boat hunting badges, and the Wound Badge, who was fell on 11th of March 1923. I think that's a typo. Yeah, this is a weird one, isn't it? So we got Kriegsmarine flotilla, very cool. U-boat hunting badges, which I don't think I've ever seen. But yeah, that 1923, because yeah, he fell. Oh, he was born on March 11, 1923, and fell at an undisclosed date. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, very unusual card for sure. And then moving on here, this is one of the ones I actually had to open because of the label issue I was telling you about. So this Feldpost came with everything that was in the lot inside. So these items are not necessarily related. But we have a death card here for Martin Strobel, Gefreiter in a Gebersjäger Regiment, bearer of the Iron Cross Second Class, the Wound Badges, and the Eastern Front Medal, who fell in the East on December 9th, 1942, at the age of 22. Nice HCOM 105 backing there. And then it also came with these two photos. We have a guy in a car there, 1945, Doppel, looks like it's captioned. And we have another guy here who looks like his name is written there, but I can't make it out. To look more into that later. The Feldpost itself is stamped. I guess there isn't a date on there. The letter, I believe, is stamped to 1943, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, this letter is from March 31st, 1943. It says at the top there. Fairly clear handwriting as well, so I might actually be able to translate that. With all the research that I do on death cards, I have not had nearly as much time to translate my massive backlog of Feldposts. And it just takes so long to get anything, and it's hard. Sutherland and cursive, and it's just hard to translate, unfortunately. The next Feldpost letter we have here is a little more clearly stamped. This one's stamped to 1942 in Munich. And if I get everything out of here, yep. So we have a death card for Obergefreiter Bernhard Kreutz, who was born June 28, 1941 in Rodinghausen and fell October of 1944 in a Russian prisoner of war camp. No photograph of him there. This is also definitely later war, kind of like cardstock. Also have this pretty good photo with what appears to be a World War I era wound badge, I believe. Or is that the Legion Condor wound badge? I'll have to double check later. Yeah, so we got that photo. And then we have a very clearly written letter here, it looks like. Which does not appear to be dated, but came with the envelope there, so 1942. That should be pretty easy to translate as well. It's pretty cool. Alright, so moving on here. More stuff that I had to open prior, but we got some death cards in this envelope here. And starting from the top, if I can actually get it to pick up there. Alright, so we have the card of Oswald Becker, a Gefreiter in Panzer Division, bearer of the Panzer Assault Badge, born May 19th, 1918 in Elsenfeld, and fell on March 27th, 1942 in the East. Which is pretty interesting. I've also not seen this exact kind of Iron Cross stamp before. Usually they have a date on them. That's kind of neat. And then we also have a card of Hans Frauscher, who on May 7th, 1945, at the end of the war, fell near Genthen, Brandenburg, after 5 years of faithful service at the age of 32. Yes, this was a bit more of a premium card, but yeah, killed May 7th, 1945. That's right smack dab at the end of the war. So that's got to be really hard for his family. Like, he survived the entire war, 5 years of service, so he's been in the military since 1940. He's seen everything, and just to fall right there at the end has got to be just devastating for them. Yeah, definitely not a card you see very often either. And then moving on here, we have the card of Tony Vogelstangl, a soldier in a Panzer battalion who on July 12th, 1941 was killed in the East at the age of 25 and a half years. Have really nice different fonts on this one. Usually you don't see too many different fonts on the same card. It's kind of interesting. And then moving on here, the next envelope, we have Eulogius Kleinhans, Gefreiter in a Panzer regiment, bearer of the Iron Cross Second Class, born August 19th, 1925 in Langenfeld, and fell August 14th, 1944. And it looks like he was killed Weichselbrückenkopf. Well, Kopf would be head. Interesting. I'll have to translate that later. And then the other card we have here is for Georg Prinz, Gefreiter in a motorized unit, who was born January 16th, 1924 in Kimpflen, and fell on April 25th, 1944 in Yester, I think. I think that's what that last word is, or is it Tinjester? Interesting. And of course, the cards we're unboxing today, it's going to take me forever to get to translating. So you'll see the videos on these several years from now, probably. Moving on, we have the death card of Ferdinand Josef Gamach, who was a Gefreiter in a Volksgrenadier Division. So I've never actually seen a card directly call out a Volksgrenadier Division, at least I can remember. So I thought that was kind of neat. He was killed December 23rd, 1944 in the Eifel, which I believe might be referring to the Schnee Eifel area, I'm wondering. Because that'd be right around that time period. So pretty cool stuff. And definitely looking forward to doing more research on him. And then we also have Anton Altmaier here, a Sanitäter Unterofficer in a Grenadier Regiment, who fell July 18th, 1944, in a bombing raid in southern France at the age of 21. Photograph of him there. And the last card here from this grouping, we have Josef Lemberger, who was an Anwärter in the Schutzpolizei, and he was killed February 15th, 1944 in Slovenia. We got HCOM backing 301 there. Now, so last one's pretty cool. So this package actually came from Australia, of all places, which I don't get a ton of Militaria from Australia. Shipping's usually fairly expensive. This card was so unusual that I had to put in the bid for it, and I actually got it for fairly cheap. It's a nice World War I card. Oh man, why would you do this? How am I supposed to open this? Gosh, I don't understand people sometimes. Okay, yeah, let's try this. And then try not to let it retape there. Like, this is awful. Just don't, please, if you're going to fold over a mailer like this, don't tape it down. Like, I appreciate wanting to protect the item, but this is like, they're made of paper. You gotta be, like, getting them open without hurting them when they're wrapped like this is sometimes kind of hard. All right. I think we're through. Oh, except the opening is covered in tape up here, which is great. Okay, there we go. It's never simple. Oh, and it's wrapped up in another piece of plastic. Awesome. This one looks like it might be easier to open. Question mark? Okay, from the side. Interesting. Okay. Well, that took far too long. I apologize. But yeah, we have the card here of Georg Wiesenzater, or Zarker, who was a soldier in the 5th Bavarian Reserve Infantry Regiment, the 9th Company, and he was killed in a train accident at Nanhofen on April 21st, 1917. Now, the Nanhofen train accident is actually fairly well documented. And of course, when I saw this card, for those of you who are familiar with my friend Readout Productions, who I do a lot of projects with, he has done multiple videos covering different disasters and train crashes and things throughout U.S. history. So I might be collabing with him on this one at some point down the road. But yeah, definitely kind of an interesting card. And we're getting near the extent of my camera's memory, but we're at the end of the video. So yeah, a whole bunch of death cards, some Feldpost, and a couple photographs. So yeah, overall, pretty interesting haul. Lots of cool stuff in there. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.